yesterday I got up, and I know if you're not in the DC area, you probably don't care about this, but there's this CVS in this upper northwest corner of DC. I don't live in DC, but it's a fairly prominent area. And they're closing the CVS. And they showed the shelves. They were empty and bare. They talked about how often it had gotten robbed. They were interviewing some of the residents who are all, upset that the CVS was going to close. And then this morning, there's an article, an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, why In-N-Out Burger is out of Oakland. So I posted it to Twitter if anyone wants to see it. But the COO of In-N-Out Burger, and apparently Oakland is a pretty good location for them, says, despite taking repeated steps to create safer conditions, our customers and associates are regularly victimized by car break-ins, property damage, theft, and armed robbery. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, you have the CVS thing here. You've got In-N-Out Burger out in Oakland, California. And these aren't isolated things. You're talking about stores all over the country in these cities. Mm-hmm. But when they do these interviews, I'm amazed. It's like somehow, gosh, how did this happen? You defunded the police. You ridiculed the police. You told the police not to do anything. Because one of the people they were interviewing was this guy who was just like the security guard, just stands there. And I'm like, yeah, of course he does. Like, what do you want the security guard to do? Go after them so that the police come and then they don't do anything and that they don't arrest the guy? But what is, like, this is Democrat leftist policies coming to fruition. It's not hard to see, and no one wants to have that conversation. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the store's closing. This is because of them. Their policies, they did it. And the worst part about it is, like, you have the mayor's office being like, we're going to have a task force. I don't need a task force. You guys decriminalized all this stuff. You gave an open, it's like the border. You might as well put a sign that said, come in, steal our stuff.
Yeah, the laws have been adjusted to favor the criminal, and they have almost a catch and release. It's like a border policy for criminals. They catch them, the police go out and catch them in committing a crime. They submit the evidence, and before that's even considered, they're given the ability to leave with no cash bail. And so these are all policies that have been implemented at the behest of George Soros, who is a civilizational destroyer. And it's societal change. It's the normalization of lawlessness, and it's the proliferation of the idea that if you see someone doing something wrong, you had damn well better not do anything about it. Because look at Daniel Penny in New York being prosecuted for killing a man who had literally victimized 40 or 50 people and was on his way to victimizing a group more when Daniel Penny took him down. It wasn't intentional that he killed him, but the fact that he did, Daniel Penny has to be taught a lesson, because you don't want people on the subway to step in and save little old women and grannies and young Chinese women who are being victimized at a rate of dozens a day. You don't want people to feel empowered. They've already taken away their guns. Now take away their right to gather in groups and defend themselves from crazy people. And by the way, look at all the crazy people. So this is intentional. This is just like the border. And I'll say this: if we just had real men anymore, if we had a million more Daniel Pennies, and they're there, but they care about their wives and their kids and their jobs, and so they're not going to do anything. These people are very effective at destroying the best place on earth to be a woman, to be Black, to be Asian, to be short, to be poor, to be dumb, to be a maniac, to have mental illness, the best place on earth to do anything. And they're destroying it. They're taking away our right to self-defense. And we really, the only way this works is if we take it back. If groups of people stop people from strolling out of the store with $900 worth of beer or alcohol or liquor, we have to get together as a society and decide that George Soros can't run this country anymore, because he's running it into the ground. Yeah.
Jenny Beth, real quick. It's funny. I was looking for this tweet or this comment last night that Tim Scott made. He said the Democrats prefer the issue than the solution. People keep looking at, like, the demise of cities. I got 30 seconds left. I'll ask you the same quick question I asked Chad on the last subject. Does this come back in our direction, or are we here for good?
No, I don't think that we're here for good. It's a society, there's always a swing in the pendulum, and people who live in those areas are still going to live there even when CVS is gone, even when In-N-Out Burger is gone. And at some point, they are going to stand up and say, absolutely not, we cannot continue this. It may take longer, but we won't survive if it continues, and I believe that America will survive.
I hope it survives. Chad, I appreciate you being with us. Jenny Beth, Stacey, thank you all.